on behalf of India and the 7 chapters of PMI in India, I extend a very warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to all of you.
Project Management Institute brings together thousands of professionals, thought leaders and peers from all industries to exchange ideas on today's projects and emerging trends. The Project Management Conference India 2010 is an event designed to provide a common networking platform for the global brand.
The objective of the conference is to raise the capability of project management excellence in India, and to allow them to focus on the transformational aspects of project management. Project management today is being utilized more and more as a competency to help corporations and governments implement strategic change. So it's a transformative competency. It allows an organization to move to the next level, but it takes excellence to do so. So that's why it's both an opportunity to share best practices and to show excellence in action in project management, and also to show those best practices which led to transformation of companies, of NGOs, and of governments.
The theme this year was leveraging project management for excellence, growth and transformation. The conference focused on the role of project management within an organization as an integral and indispensable part of successful business results.
The theme of the conference, excellence, growth and transformation, is very apt for our current situation in India. We have seen some successes in terms of excellence and growth, and now we need to transform ourselves. This transition has to come about by contributions from all of us, all the professional managers who are engaged in the business of project management.
The 3-day event kicked off with Gregory Balistrero, making his final international appearance as President and CEO of PMI Worldwide.
I'm here for the last time as the leader of PMI. This is my last trip away from our central offices. It's a time for me to step down and retire and pass on the baton to our new President and CEO, Mr. Mark Langley. And as I went through this year and I selected the events that I would attend, I wanted to make sure I returned to India. India was very special. For the first 4 or 5 years that I was with PMI, I came to India sometimes 3 and 4 times a year to promote and advocate for project management, to work with our professional members here in this country, to continue to spread the word about how important project management was, not only to the success of organizations, but the success of this country. My hope for India is that individuals involved in project management will recognize a unique opportunity that exists here differently than any part of the world. India stands on the brink of massive change, both from providing infrastructure that has never been developed in India, to providing new products and services, to one of the largest middle classes in the world, to providing services to countries all over the world. Young people today in India have the opportunity to step into the project management profession and be right at the threshold for the country. The issue of clean, fresh water for India is a challenge going forward. And the melting of the Himalayan glaciers is a challenge if climate change continues to grow. So that means in all of the operations in India going forward, in every manufacturing application, we as project managers need to become caretakers not only of the money and the resources that are given to us by the company, but also begin thinking about the precious assets that we have on the planet and how the country is going to grapple with a doubled population in 20 years and water with limited capacity to provide clean drinking water and water for irrigation, for agriculture. Oh, I think it was remarkable because First of all, I have a special place in my heart for India, as I do with Latin America. These are two areas which required a lot of attention for me in my first 4 or 5 years with PMI. And then once I realized that this is our future as a global profession, I committed myself to both areas of the world. I made this the very last public appearance that I would have for PMI before I retire. And I did that specifically because I wanted to say goodbye to a very important community that I have seen grown and develop world-class experiences. So by honoring me with that in such a way that made me, and genuinely honoring me, I was humbled by it, and I really appreciated it.
Serving as chief guest, Mr. K. Venkatramanan, President of Engineering and Construction Project, Larsen & Toubro, shares his extensive knowledge and experience in project management.
The most important facet of any activity, and that includes building projects, is to create value. It's not really, if you do not appreciate at each step as a project manager the importance of value creation across the entire value chain, and thereby work towards all those aspects that increase value as you complete a project over a period of time, I think you don't realize really the full impact of it. And therefore, in today's case of very large projects, or maybe medium-sized or even smaller projects, each one creates value, and the value is created not only by doing it on cost and time and quality, but in various other steps that you do as you go through the project in terms of being able to appreciate other aspects that come in from value engineering, from working capital management, from cash flow management, and therefore you got to be a reasonably financially insightful person to be able to really create the best value from a good projects.
The PMI FICCI Market Survey Report on Project Management in India was unveiled, providing insight into IT, energy, auto, infrastructure and realty sectors.
At a simple level, project management for all of us was this ability and need to effectively manage across these three dimensions, I'll call them. It's always been about cost, time, and scope, and the mantra has always been good quality, bring it in on time, and bring it under budget. And we've, I would argue, done a fairly successful job of that in varying degrees, but there are areas where we've not done a good job which end up compromising the type of execution and the type of results we can get.
Project Management Conference 2010 took a break from the seminar to present some well-deserved awards. In the category of Contribution to the Community 2010, the runner-up, Help to Live, a not-for-profit organization built to support the deprived in terms of money, materials and volunteering. The winner of the Contribution to the Community 2010 award, the International Center for Entrepreneurship and Career Development. ICECD had broken new ground through a unique project to socio-economically rehabilitate one of society's most vulnerable segments, widows. In the category of Best Project of the Year 2010, the runner-up, Synergy Telecommunications Turnkey Rollout of Telecom Cell Sites Project. The project was developed to add over 900 cellular sites spanning 15 diverse telecom circles in 1 year. The winner of the Best Project of the Year award went to Engineers India Limited for their Bina Refinery project, a 6 MMTPA grassroots refinery at Bina in Madhya Pradesh. Finally, the Best Project of the Year Jury Award went to HSBC for their India Collections Transformation Project, designed to deliver rapid improvement in collections practices of HSBC Global.
To be successful, people matter more than process. Deliverables matter more than documentation. Collaboration matters more than contracts. And responding to change matters more than performing to plan. That's compelling. There's something about that appeals to me, and yet there's something about it that annoys me. On the one side, we have the things that we are paid to do as project leaders and project implementation teams, but on the other side, we have the things that we are trained to do. You're taught process, tools, documentation, contracts. But on the other hand, that's not what our clients are asking for. They're asking for real business value that comes forth from the people that we engage and that is relevant at the time that it's produced.
Ultimately, anything that we do is about people. Whether we're talking about employers, whether we're talking about customers, ultimately we're dealing with people. And somewhere along the line, we forget that every human being, what distinguishes every human being is the fact that every human being has a belief system. And that is what makes him unique. So if there are 500 people in this room, there are 500 belief systems. Some things may be in common, some things will not be in common. But it is belief systems that make us human. And so if you're running a project with 5 people or 50 people or 500 people, what you're really going to interact with and engage with is belief systems. And what is surprising is this is not part of our education system. It just isn't. We spend a lot of time understanding finance. We spend a lot of time understanding management. We spend a lot of time understanding engineering and technology, but a very little time trying to understand human beings.
Innovation was part of the DNA of Tata Group, but it was sporadic. And I don't think we were innovating enough, and we thought that this is something we need to take forward. And finally, 3-4 years back, we realized that while we have done some work in corporate social responsibility, one of the areas which have got missed our attention to a great extent was climate change. So this is another chapter we have inserted in our excellence journey, and climate change is something which is all companies are promoting a low carbon lifestyle, a low carbon growth strategy that all companies have to look at. Mr. Tata is known to be passionate about innovation, and he very firmly believes that innovation comes by creating a culture for innovation, creating an environment for innovation.
During the project management conference, guests were treated to a CXO roundtable discussion themed India Infrastructure on Growth Trajectory, Unspoken Challenges and Emerging Opportunities.
What's about challenges and opportunities in India as far as infrastructure story is concerned?
There are opportunities and challenges. I think I would like to see it differently, that we all can talk, and I think, Upendra, you rightfully identified that through example, there are challenges. That's where the theme, I think, I want to kind of, from my perspective, set out. There are stories and studies which indicate that today, close to about 0.5 to 1% of the projected GDP is actually being lost because of the lack of infrastructure. So clearly, all those plans need to get converted into plants, as they call it. India is looking at a growth story, and I think the topic was very rightfully, aptly put, that how India as a growth story can be achieved and only be limited or supported and enabled by infrastructure. I think the theme was to set out, that was to how to make infrastructure project management, which seems like a very complex thing. How could simple things in life, how the options of having a failure as an option could be converted into project management skills, complemented with passion and perseverance.
The Planning Commission has envisaged something like an investment of 20.56 lakh crore rupees if you want to maintain a GDP growth of 9%. And the GDP growth, which is the figures latest are 8.8%, but India is looking forward to taking it to 10%, And, if not overtake China, but be close to China. So with that kind of requirement of, funds, obviously the central government cannot meet all the requirement. And the Planning Commission envisaged that about roughly 1/3 would be met by central government, 1/3 by state government, and 1/3 through PPP and BOT route. Actually, today's topic was very topical because it was about infrastructure, the challenges and opportunities. And India really requires a quantum leap in infrastructure if you want to maintain a high GDP growth like China. So we planned a GDP growth of over 9%, and we should take it to China levels, which is about 10%. And you can't do it without creation of infrastructure.
Mr. Modi, how close are we to the reality when we see the other side of the table?
Execution doesn't happen in the boardrooms. Let me tell you one thing, battles are actually fought on the war front. And on the war front, you'll actually go there, roll up your sleeves, face the sweat, the mud and the toil, some cases blood. And I thought that's what I represent. And that's my new incarnation. For me, the biggest constraint is not money. The biggest constraint is not resources, is not equipment, is actually not even human beings. The only constraint is time. If you look at any lesson, even on finance or non-finance executives, you will actually teach you time value of money. Today, for a developer, it makes much more sense to incur higher cost and accelerate revenue. When you're doing cost cutting, you're talking of looking back. When you're getting of higher revenues, you're talking of looking ahead. The whole focus today is of higher revenues and maximizing yields. To my mind, all of us, within us, have stars in our eyes, have fire in the belly, have a belief in our ears, have spring in our feet. So there is no way, the ultimate thing is we don't have belief in ourselves. So you have stars in the eyes, all of us dream, all of us do that. You have fire in the belly, you are hungry. You're actually always wanting more, aiming for more. You have spring in the feet, you have energy, you're ready to go. And if you just add this song in the heart, you should enjoy what we are doing. The moment we can enjoy and we believe, it will actually get done.
How can we leverage people like you who have so much immense depth? Because we don't want to reinvent the wheel. So from that perspective, you heard the audience, and that's the reason we have given you the last, so that you could observe what's going on. And from that perspective, what did you get your insight?
The thing was what our project manager is supposed to do. And as we just mentioned here, one of the things we tell our employees and our consultants is do not make the same mistakes other people have made before. We call those premeditated stupidities. Premeditated stupidity is really bad. Make a new mistake and we will celebrate it because you have learned something new. So one of the things we need to be very good at is not repeating the mistake, but at the same time allowing people to make the mistake, but capturing them early and recorrecting them. Yes, I think what I liked very much was the variety of experiences that were brought to the panel. People with different areas and however focusing on the same problem. It was very interesting, but 30% of the things we said were similar and about 70% were different. So that shows the unity and diversity at the same time.
If you look at it, the project management it's a profession, and its recognition is based on the hallmarks of the project management profession. It is standards, it is certification, and the code of ethics, and the adherence to the ethics code, it is non-negotiable. What is an ethics? So it's the common themes are expressing the value. It's commonly held as an important to the community, for organization or team. It gives the value guide and the behavior for the community. It sets the value guide for the society. Ethics holds the community as a community together and allow it to function on the level of trust. The world, today's modern economy is depending on the trust.
Somebody asked me, what is information technology? I mean, it's very simple, right? The technology which plays with the information is information technology. But the point what we need to understand here is there is a computing power generated by IT vehicle which automate the processes. If I don't automate the process, I remember the days when I was working in first company. To travel from Hyderabad to Mumbai, we need to fill a pink form with probably 10 fields, signature. After that, it will go to my boss. Again, you will find the signature. After that, month end, you will have some bundles of the forms. Everything again they have to do manually. You remember how much effort it will take, right? So I think the automation of the processes, then the process automation captures a lot of data. Then you have to mine that, you have to get the required information and take the right decisions to move forward. So that's where I think the information plays a very vital role. What I'm trying to emphasize here is the computing power and the information are the two important assets going forward for any nation.
A platform for an exchange of ideas. Recognition for talent and achievement within the field of project management. The Project Management Conference 2010 brought knowledge and experience together with bright new innovation.
Spider-Man, Batman.